Hello and welcome back to a brand new Pick a Side live reaction. We are here after the Mavericks lost to the OKC Thunder 100-96. The series is now tied 2 games apiece. And if you're watching this and you have one question in mind, and that question is, do you guys only go live when the Mavericks lose? Yes, it's purposeful. It's intentional. We only go live when the Mavericks lose. When the Mavericks win, I can't get any of these guys to come on. I text them. They say, hey, I don't want to come on. I don't want to speak about them. We see Riv here. Riv has joined. He has come back. Last 2 games, he's been absent. He is here. I'm just joking. But how you guys doing, fellas? We just watched a great game.
I'm glad you said I'm just joking because I've been here the last 2 times that Dallas has had pretty great performances, and I've given them their respect, but I'm doing pretty damn great. Oklahoma City handling business, more importantly than anything else. SGA showing that he is a playoff superstar. What a performance from him tonight. It was magic to watch. I felt like I was watching a Broadway show. It was that beautiful.
I literally just texted in the Discord, I'm going to sleep in 5 minutes if we don't start. So thank God we started, man. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, God.
Fantastic, man. We won't talk about it much, but great game from the Boston Celtics.
You guys suck.
Boo, boo.
Eliminated. Here we go.
You're so lucky D. Mitch didn't play.
2022? Got it.
Gonna be retired. We'll never see another chip.
Oh my God.
Well, is he lucky that Mitchell didn't play because Garland had a great statistical game? Yeah, he played great.
He's lucky, bro. That's all.
Guys, let's just get right to it. Nobody cares about the Cavaliers. Nobody cares about the Boston Celtics.
Ironic.
You know
why we're here.
I don't know.
You know why we're here.
Should be 2-2. You guys get bailed out. Jared Allen doesn't play. Donovan Mitchell doesn't play.
Jared Allen hasn't played in like fucking 2 weeks. I don't know which one.
Mickey Mouse run. You know, you guys really aren't. You didn't show me much. You didn't show me.
We deserve it.
No, I'll be honest.
Well, how about game 1? We won by 25.
How about game 2? We lost.
How about game 3? We won. How about game 4? We won.
How about Donovan Mitchell's been the best player in the series?
Arguably, these last 2 games, Jason Tatum's been right there.
It hasn't.
No, Jason Tatum's been right there.
He didn't even play today. So what are you talking about? The last 2 games, he didn't even play today.
Jaylen Brown cooked.
Is that my fault that he's not playing? Get out there.
3 games,
best player in the series if you're missing games.
It's your fault that Tatum finally just had a 30 ball. It's been a really long time.
He's had back-to-back now. Yeah.
Congrats.
He's actually
at
at
11 for 25 split though.
Yeah. Don't give a shit. Give me my 30 ball. Give me my 12 boards. Give me my 6 assists.
They'll do anything for 30 nowadays, man.
Easy.
With that Boston series, the series is 3-1. The Cavaliers had that one win. Maybe again things a little bit excited, but Mitchell didn't play in game 4, and Jared Allen is yet to play in this series. I'm just saying that if those 2 guys were healthy, maybe
hold on.
It's more competitive.
Because once Dean Wade came back, you said the Cavs are going to win this in 7. So I don't know. All of a sudden, it's an issue that Jared Allen.
Who said this?
Joel.
Dean Wade he said that
that much of a
Mitch got ruled out the game, bro. I'm pretty confident he said that before D. Mitch got.
Oh yeah, I mean this was before game 3.
Oh, then never mind.
I think we can all acknowledge that this is one of the easiest paths to the finals that a team is ever going to have in the East. I can't remember an easier path. This is such an easy path.
We deserve it.
And now I don't even know who you guys are going to face next round because it could be the Knicks or it could be the Pacers. That series can go either way because the Knicks look gassed. They look drained.
Everybody guys go 7.
So many minutes.
Give KP some extra time.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for. But buddy, you got to win the finals. That's your expectation.
Hey, we're off to a good start.
It ain't just making it. It's about winning the finals.
We're off to a good
OKC
start.
Beat Dallas 100-96. I think OKC deserves a lot of credit for staying in this game. The Dallas Mavericks had a lead for most of it. In the 4th quarter, the Mavs went on a little bit of a dry spell where they couldn't buy a bucket. And in that time span, SGA was just doing what he does, get into his spots in the mid-range. I felt like Dort, Chet, J-Dub, Kaysen, they hit some much-needed threes in this one. And overall, this was just really a one-man show on offense with SGA leading the way with 34, 8, and 5. His tough shot making was just masterful. Then on the opposite side, Dallas just fell apart. This is a winnable game. You go 12 for 23 from the free throw line, 52%. OKC goes 23 for 24. They miss one free throw. That very well is the difference in this game. And I feel like on both sides, there are things to look forward to because on OKC, you win this game shooting 38% from the field and 26% from three. That's a great win. You're going to take that any day. But if you're Dallas, you say, okay, we didn't play terribly, but we shot terribly from the line, and Luka and Kyrie didn't play well at all. But that all is by design. Mark Daigneault has made it a point of emphasis that they're going to double Kyrie and Luka. It's going to be everybody else, and that's why we've seen these scoring outbursts from PJ, who had 21 today, and then these role players just stepping up. But that's what OKC is going to live with. If you're Dallas, you just have to hope that you're getting more production from Luka or Kyrie moving forward. And if you're OKC, you're just expecting your role players to play better throughout the entirety of the game. I know that Josh Giddey has been made like a big deal in this series and stuff. I really don't think his lineups this particular game were all that terrible. I think they made some runs with him in the game. In the first quarter, that's when they got down with him when he was there, but it was a combination of everybody just playing bad. But in that second half, he was part of a lineup that made the initial run. So I don't think like this series is just all like, don't play him, and this is an easy path to victory, because Dallas has shown that even in those non-Giddey lineups, they can make runs and they can play great defense. Overall, this is a 2-2 series going back to OKC, and that's exactly how the series is going to be. This is going to be a long series.
Are you going to speak on the free throws?
What free throws?
He mentioned it.
Yeah, I did mention it. Were you listening?
Maybe not the specific free throw that you might be referencing.
Yeah, no, you mentioned the team.
No, he mentioned the free throws from the Mavericks.
I was talking.
I don't know if he spoke about the free throws from his GOAT.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Listen, Luka, he has to make that. He made one of two. But even with that missed free throw, PJ Washington had a chance to go to the line. He makes two. It's a 1-point game, and you still got a chance. And then he missed the first one. So it's everybody. It's everybody.
Okay, so it's PJ, who was the best player for the Mavericks tonight.
I'm not throwing on anybody. I'm just saying those two things coincided. Those two things added to them not coming back in this game. Ultimately, like the line stuff doesn't matter to me. That Luka free throw, yeah, it hurts. But what really hurts is just him not making shots in the fourth. You look at his shot chart in this game: 2 for 9 from three, 2 for 6 in the mid-range area, 0 for 2 in the restricted area. He's just not getting to his spots. He's just not having enough lift in his jump shot. I mean, if we want to make this like a Luka thing, I mean, you guys can. I think it's quite obvious that he's hurt. And that's what it is. The same thing we were saying about Embiid with Embiid's injury. Oh, if he plays poorly in the playoffs, it's not going to matter because he was injured. I think with me, Luka has shown enough to this point that we know what his track record is in the playoffs. We know how great he is. I look at him play, and I think it's pretty obvious he's hurt. His knee is bleeding every game. His movement is not what it was early in the season. That just is what it is. With that being said, he got to play better. He got to still find a way. If he's out there, you got to find a way to play better. And if you're Dallas, you lose by 4, Luka and Kyrie don't play well. There are a lot of positives from both sides to pick out of this game, but OKC won.
Drew, I'll let you get the floor.
I
think you're itching.
I really want to sit here and listen to you guys talk, really bask in this a little bit more. So, gentlemen, please flatter me and go.
All right, I'll go. First of all, great game. I definitely saw some things on Dallas's ends that I like. I like the defensive pressure they was putting against OKC. I like the fact that they were sending doubles and they were sending a lot of help defense. And they were not allowing SGA or JW to get deep into the paint. They was forcing them to make really tough decisions, forcing them to think outside the box. As we know, they're not the best playmakers in those type of situations. So I loved what I've seen from Dallas defensively in the first 3 to 4 quarters. SGA just started to figure it out, started to be more comfortable, and that's where he started to go in the heater. But for the most part, I did like what Dallas's defense did. I personally thought Jason Kidd lost in the game in the fourth quarter, just with the adjustments he didn't make. And the lineups I wasn't really too fond of. I do think, Joel, you do have a point where Luka and Kyrie need to be better. Kyrie specifically just needs to take more shots. I know they were sending doubles at you. I know you didn't have many open looks, but you got to go get yours. You got to go find a way to be this, like to be an impact in this game. I know he was being a good playmaker, making some good reads, but your job, your best trait is to go get a bucket. Like that's what you do. When you start scoring, this offense looks completely different. I know PJ Washington played great. Shout out to PJ Washington. He's been, really good for them. But you need Kyrie to be who he is. It's the same thing for Luka. I think Luka also has to be better. We can throw the injury thing up, but the simple fact is he's just not playing well. He's not playing to the best of his abilities. And at this point, everybody's hurt towards the end of this year. So, I don't want to give that too much of an excuse. If you out there, you know the saying, if you're out there, you're playing, we got to just judge you based off what you're showing us. And Luka hasn't been his most efficient scoring self. Still the same playmaker, still the same guy that's generating all that gravity. But defensively, I did like what I've seen from Dallas this game. I was extremely impressed with what I've seen. PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., the energy they had early in the game. Unfortunately, they couldn't continue that going into the fourth. But to start the game off the way they did, if they can continue that for 4 quarters, they can get this W. As for OKC, man, this offense, you got to figure it out. I don't entirely agree with the Josh Giddey stuff because I feel like in the first quarter he was shooting the ball too much. He was just touching the ball too much for me, and the offense looked a little too sputtered. He looked out of control, and then defensively he's just a mess. He gets lost in pick and rolls. He gets lost in rotations. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm not gonna say, like you mentioned, I'm not all the way and give him 0 minutes, but I definitely think you need to tinker the lineups and kind of start off with a different starting 5. But overall, you play like this and you get the W. That's great to see. I mean, I don't think you can expect Dallas to go 12 for 23 from the line again. I think you can expect Kyrie to be a little bit more aggressive come game 5. But for the most part, OKC, you just got to get that offense back going. And SGA, he needed a moment like this because we've been watching him, and he hasn't really given us that moment yet. He's been kind of, I don't want to say coasting. He's just been kind of playing a little bit under his standards from the regular season. So he hasn't really given us that moment like Ant's given us or other players. So I think this one right here, this game 4, backs against the wall. You're down 2-1. You're in Dallas. Your team is down in the fourth. Your team is down pretty much all game. You needed this type of moment to kind of not solidify, because of course you need more moments, but to get the top 5 player in the league, the top 3 player in the league agenda rolling. So I'm impressed with what I see from SGA. OKC didn't play their best ball, but they were able to crawl this one out the mud.
Great game. I think one of the biggest kind of stories going into this game and really the series is the Thunder's lack of experience, the Thunder's youth compared to the Dallas Mavericks, who have Kyrie Irving, who's won a championship, who has Luka, who has made, one deep playoff run, has had multiple series where he's been, one of the best players on the planet. But in this case, it was the Thunder that impressed me the most. These are 2 of the best teams in the clutch in the regular season. These are 2 teams that have really tough shot makers that we've seen in these playoffs and, of course, in the regular season too. But it was impressive to see a team like OKC, as Riv mentioned, who was down basically this entire game. They were always at arm's reach with with Dallas. But for the most part, they really struggled to cut it down anything less than like 7 up until that fourth quarter. It felt like Dallas had a pretty decent lead for the majority of the time. It was not really double digits, but it was never really a 1-possession game. They were always just kind of keeping them at arm's length. But in that fourth quarter, you scored 37 points. And a lot of those points came from SGA. And I don't know how replicable that is for SGA to just time and time again have to go down the court, and he is basically the only person that's consistently generating buckets. Jalen Williams, J-Dub didn't have a great game shooting. Chet only took a few shots. He was efficient on his shots. You have guys like Case and Wallace who could hit threes, but it was really just the SGA show, and he did need this moment, and he stepped up to this moment. But if they want to win the series, if they want to have a chance in the Western Conference Finals, they're going to need some of their other guys to step up too. For Dallas, I feel weirdly okay because I still think this is going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I still think it's going to be a toss-up. But I look at this game, and you have Kyrie Irving shoot 4 for 11. You have Luka shoot 6 for 20. You're terrible from the free throw line, and you were leading for majority of this game. This was a very defensive-minded game on both sides. This was a very physical game too, which was, I think a bit different from the series than what we've seen in the previous games. I felt like the physicality levels were really high on both sides. But your 2 stars don't show up. You're terrible from the free throw line. You're decent from 3, 12 of 35. I thought overall, if you're a Mavs fan, you're probably leaving this game saying like, damn, we let that one get away. But I don't think you're going into game 5 saying we don't have a chance in this series, barring something happening to Luka Doncic. And we're at a point where 6 from 20, he's been struggling really all series long. For the majority of these playoffs, he's been playing under what we're expecting from him, especially once we get to this playoffs where he puts up just some of the craziest numbers we've ever seen in NBA history. He's been playing well under that mark. So if this injury just continues to lean on, if it continues to, not get better, and he's still going out here and he's having 7 turnovers, and he has moments defensively where he could lock in. I thought there was even moments in this game, but there's also moments of lapses where OKC could get easy buckets on him, or whether he's playing off ball. So if he's going to continue to kind of play this lackadaisical sense because he's part dealing with an injury and part because he has such a load offensively, it's going to be hard to win this series. But I also know that Luka Doncic at any moment could go off for 40 and he could be efficient. He could be the best player in the series. But this game, this was OKC taking this. I know we could talk about Dallas and their lack of free throw shooting, but OKC was chipping away at that lead in that fourth quarter. They saw the moment to strike and they struck. SGA hit some big shots down the stretch. They played some good defense down the stretch. Of course, got a little lucky with some missed free throws. But if you're OKC, this was the goal. You go into Dallas, you split. Now you're going into game 5 at home. And I think those young players, especially those younger role players, are going to play a lot better at home than they will on the road. So I think overall this was a win for OKC in terms of going to Dallas and taking 1 and 2.
First off, I'll say this. Appreciate all the Mavericks fans that are actually man enough to actually tune in, take the time to watch the show, because I know a lot of you like to, avoid pick a side when the Mavericks do lose a game. But again, this was a very, very fun, exciting game to watch. Unfortunately for Mavericks fans, only one superstar showed up today. Of course, that was SGA. Now, it's funny because you look at Oklahoma City, and as a whole, this offense was not good for a majority of this game. At a point in time in the second half, they were shooting under 35% from the field. And a lot of this also has to come with the idea that J-Dub has not been that same aggressive score that we've seen in the regular season, really attacking downhill. And we saw him a lot in this game go and attack downhill, get stuffed at the rim, whether that was from Gafford or PJ Washington, just playing really solid defense and staying in front of him, settling for jump shots, not really getting to his spots, not really utilizing the mid-range. Chet Holmgren, like Joel mentioned, had himself an efficient ball game, hit some clutch free throws down the stretch of the game, hit a clutch 3 down the stretch of the game also. But SGA was out of this world. It just seemed like every shot he was putting up anywhere near the basket, finishing at the basket, the jump shots, the mid-range, everything that you've known his game to be, he put it on full display tonight. But what's disappointing about this, if you are a Mavericks fan, is this was in your bag. You had this one. You were just so clearly playing just better basketball than Oklahoma City, who really did not have another option to go to on a consistent basis outside of SGA down the stretch of the game, but you couldn't hit your free throws. And then on top of it, you don't have number 1 and number 2 on your team getting going. To the fact that we are here, and I'm here, who have been very critical of PJ Washington. I guess, yeah, we have to call him the needle mover, because if he's not playing this level of basketball right now, if Luka and Kyrie are going to keep playing this way, they don't have a chance. But again, it is 2-2. You would have ideally liked to have this one. You go 3-1 back into Oklahoma City. You're definitely feeling a lot more comfortable than this. But when you have Oklahoma City playing some of its worst brand of basketball that we've seen all season long from them, and they're still able to pull out this win, credit to Oklahoma City, especially after being such a young team, one of the youngest teams we've seen in the NBA playoffs period, to go out there and show this level of toughness. Credit to them, but I would be remiss if I did not at least mention the fact that I sat here a couple weeks back and I got slandered about LeChoke. He had 10 points, 12 points in the fourth quarter, but missed the game, the go-ahead shot, and he got called LeChoke. But Luka Doncic at the free throw line to go ahead and tie the game. I know my game 5 went and tied the game at the line. Something that they said that he can't do, that he's scared of the free throw line. But Luka Doncic, the savior, the great hope of the Dallas Mavericks, goes to the free throw line with a chance to tie this game up, to right all the wrongs that you've done in this game. Does not matter that you went 6 for 20. You go to this free throw line and you tie this game. Hey, all is forgiven. You doink the first one, Luka Doncic. That can't be. That simply can't be, especially if you're not going to show up in the fourth at all. If you're not going to show up in the fourth at all, you got to at least give me these 2 free throws. That's all I have to say. I say this, Dallas, you played some really solid basketball so far. You easily should have closed this one, but a lot of the disrespect, a lot of the complaining on OKC side is, oh, this is a team that's just foul baiting. Go look at the free throw differential today. One less free throw. The difference is they missed 1 free throw, 23 or 24, and you guys were atrocious, barely shooting 50% from the free throw line as a team. That's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done in that simple.
Yeah, but OKC shot more free throws though.
By 1.
Yeah, I think the really the annoyance comes from Lou Dort flopping all the time. I think that's what it comes from.
You know what? I'm actually so happy you mentioned that. I almost forgot.
Yeah,
It's actually some of the most irritating shit watching a top 3 ball player in the world. Every single time he's touched, whether it's a make or a miss, he's beelining his eyes towards the referee to do something.
Mom, estoy grabando.
They should kick him out. Just
no, moms, I said what's up. I hope she had a great Mother's Day.
Ellos te están diciendo feliz día de madre. Yo estoy grabando ahorita. En 10 minutos yo voy a estar libre.
Crashing the live. Here we go.
Respect.
Okay. Yeah, my mom just barsing. So, all right. I SGA, it looked he did take over the second half. There's no doubt.
It was crazy.
But everybody else chipped in. He had 10 points in the fourth. Chet has 7, 2 for 3 from the field. J-Dub has 7 points, 3 assists. Lou Dort had 8 points. He hit a really huge 3 down the stretch. Cason Wallace hit, he had 3 points. He had a huge 3. I mean, you're getting production from everybody.
Yep, finally.
I think the difference is that in the fourth quarter for the Mavericks, PJ was 0 for 3. So he was trying to stay aggressive, and he's been great all game, but he was 0 for 3 in the fourth. Kyrie was 1 for 5. He didn't get anything going. And Luka Doncic in the fourth quarter has 6 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 turnover, but he was 2 for 5. So, I understand Luka. He could have been better. He could have made more shots, but you're getting 7 assists in the fourth quarter. I think it is. You're generating offense.
Yo, that oop from basically half court to Derrick Jones, that was clutch. Yeah, I won't lie, because you went for the 2 for 1, but then you still have a chance to go and tie the game and you blow it. I mean, that's what I can't forgive.
It's just a big reason for the Mavericks not pulling out this game is that nobody was hitting shots down the stretch. Whether it was PJ, it was Kyrie Irving. I thought Lively was very loose with the ball. But what I thought shifted the game the most is, I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but it was in the last 2 minutes when I think SGA drove to the basket and Luka and Chet got tangled up and Luka fell. And I think his knee, his knee was hurt. And when he came to rotate, Chet was left wide open from 3. And that was his assignment. And his closeout was lazy and he didn't close out at all. And Chet ends up making that shot. I thought that was the biggest turn in the game. I understand the free throw was, you got to make that free throw. It is what it is. But not closing out on that Chet 3. And like you said, complaining about your knee, who knows how hurt he really is. We can only speculate. But not closing out on that 3 when everything is important at that point in time, and him making it, that's what I thought shifted the game. People early on in the stream, because I created this stream before the game was over, and I already had created the title, I created the thumbnail, and I think the first comment was, "How do you know the script?" Or "You're counting out Luka with way too much time." And it was like a minute and 2 left in the game. It's because I thought once OKC had momentum, I didn't have much faith that Dallas was going to get some late game offense going to the point they were going to win this game. And I thought the difference is just to help. SGA and Luka, they're being guarded differently. With Dallas, I think their defense has been great all series. It's been great all playoffs, to be honest. and they're great at rotating. Their rotations are awesome. And Jason Kidd, I think, deserves a lot of credit for that in how he's scheming up this series. SGA, for the most part, is getting his one-on-one opportunities and isn't getting blitzed because there's just too many shooters on OKC to account for.
Is he
Where
getting one-on-one though?
he is getting one-on-one opportunities way
There's
more
a
than
shit ton
SGA.
of- There's a shit
On the
ton of help.
perimeter, on the perimeter, it is one-on-one, but obviously SGA is going to drive. He's looking for that midi, and he is being met by at least one other defender.
There's
some
one
help
guy in
off
front of
shooters.
him, but there's 4 guys watching him.
Yes,
I
there's
mean, of
eyes.
course.
Yes.
Yeah, there's eyes on SGA, but there's not like another second body trapping
He's not
him,
getting
forcing
blitzed
the
a
ball
ton.
out of his hands.
He's not getting
He's
blitzed.
not
You know,
getting.
like,
He's
he's
not
driving.
getting
getting
blitzed.
He's
blitzed.
getting
But
help.
there's
He's not
definitely
getting blitzed, but when
somebody
he's driving,
in front of
yeah.
him, forcing him to the other
Correct.
help side defender.
Correct.
I mean,
don't
of
think
course,
that's
but
one-on-one.
that's what every player, and that's what everybody,
His
rotation
footwork-
defense is what
Oh
it is.
Lord, his footwork tonight was otherworldly.
You know,
Like-
the shot he hit, like where he shot it like behind the backboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the left side. That was crazy.
Yeah.
No
There's no-
question. Are we saying that bucket by Jada was a double dribble? Because I'm watching that and I didn't understand how he could continue the play and
It
get
looked like a
that
double.
the way he did.
If you don't have possession of the ball and it's a loose ball and you pick it up, it's not a stop. It's not a stop dribble.
Okay.
So you can still dribble again. But it was a 50-50 call. I mean, if they would have called it, I wouldn't have been like, oh,
that was
that's a
that was
call.
some 2K ass bucket. He gets the ball,
Yeah, I
gets
didn't
the
love
back, just baseline, gets the dunk over Kyrie.
Yeah, there were just a lot of moments that, OKC, they just showed up. But yeah, if you're Dallas, you got to feel bad about losing this game because if you go up 3-1, you're winning the series. It's over. They're going to win the series. This was a must win for OKC. And I feel like if you're Dallas, you let this one slip. And the biggest concern moving forward is just, what are we going to get from Luka and Kyrie? I think with Luka, I already know like he's hurt and he's not going to get healthy overnight. So I'm expecting him to not play like himself. Kyrie has to be the one to play really well in this series if they're going to win this. If they're going to win this series, if Luka plays well in games 5-6, I think credit to him. But I think that it's not a realistic expectation for him.
He can play better than this. He can play better than this. Like he's had games in the past in the series where he was shooting 50% from the field. He wasn't having 7 turnovers. And I think what lost in this game was just defense in the fourth quarter. We could talk about the free throws. We could talk about Luka struggling. We could talk about Kyrie's lack of aggression. But you allow 37 points in a quarter where the 3 previous quarters, I mean, you're allowing – I had the box where I lost it. But I don't know. You were allowing less than 30 points per quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden, they're just able to hit shot after shot. Like, you give credit to SGA and all them boys, but at some point, you just got to start locking up.
I get the injury stuff. D. Mitch was hurt. Embiid was hurt.
He didn't play in game 4.
No, but I'm talking about D. Mitch been hurt all playoffs.
So is Luka.
Joel Embiid's been hurt. Like at some point, you got to have a moment, and I don't think Luka has had that big moment yet, and we're definitely waiting on it to happen. But I definitely feel like some of his shots though are like just bad shots. Like I don't think they're injury shots. Yeah, I think he's just taking really, credit to Dort too, but I think he's just taking some really tough ass shots. And the physicality is, messing with a bit. And of course it's, the constant complaining, the constant OKC's offense putting you into multiple actions. So of course you're going to be gassed a little bit, but I think he'll be all right. If Luka doesn't play well, you mentioned it, Joel, Kyrie has to be the guy to step up. But they have this weird dynamic balance. I don't know. Kyrie's weird sometimes. I don't know him. He doesn't take a lot of shots sometimes, and I want him to take I want him to go out and empty the clip. Like you are that type of talent. So hopefully it does happen though, because you got Game 5 must win. It's gonna get tough, man.
It's gonna be interesting. I think they play when
Should be
Wednesday.
2 days.
Wednesday again.
Should be Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that's gonna be a great game. We'll be live right after that game. But this is gonna do it. Any last remarks from you fine gentlemen?
I just want to see the top 3, arguably top 2 player in the world play as such. And I don't want to be felt the way that I'm feeling, especially understanding that SGA is absolutely clearing him this series. It shouldn't be the case, especially when you've been, quote unquote, our generation's Michael Jordan in the playoffs. So please play up to that standard. If you're out there, I'm under the assumption you're healthy enough to be held to a specific standard. That's just me.
Predictions for tomorrow's games. Knicks Pacers game 5. Wolves. Who we got?
The Nuggets
I
are
mean,
going to win 4 straight. The Nuggets are going to win. And I unfortunately can't tell you a Knicks Pacers prediction right now because it is just such a mystery what's going to go on with the Knicks. I know OG is not playing. With that being said, I feel like my mind wants to go Pacers, but with the way that the Knicks played in game 3, it's not impossible.
I think that the Knicks not playing their players a lot because they were getting blown out in game 4
For sure.
will help them in game 5.
I
think
that.
they'll be
Fair
much
enough.
fresher. I think the crowd will get them into it. I got the Knicks winning game 5, and I got the Wolves winning game 5. I think Anthony Edwards, after making those remarks to Jamal Murray, I just feel something coming. I just feel something inside my body. I feel something. I feel a feeling just continuing to grow, and I can't wait,
Kind of how
man.
I felt about watching SGA today, so I understand.
It's gonna be
Yo,
special.
that was
It's gonna be
crazy.
special.
No, it was nuts, but I'm here.
That
for
was
it.
insane.
With the way that I've been talking about SGA, it's valid.
If you like watching that game 4 and watching the Joker just go to work from quarters 1 through 4, like
It
there's
was
just
unbelievable.
nothing. Like there's
No.
nothing you can do with this guy,
But
bro.
Riv, what did we say? Well, at least what did I say coming to the series? You guys all knew this. When Jokic is at that top of the key with the ball in his hands, you have
Dude.
social media going fucking berserk. Oh, this guy's a 4-time defensive player of the year. They're really starting to hyper focus on Gobert when he's not really the problem. He's playing. Oh, he's
Bro,
playing some solid basketball. It's only
play
so
he
much you
had
can
where
do.
He had Rudy. He hit him with the backspin. Cat
He's
stepped up,
dirty.
He just flicked it. Yo, bro, I'm like, no way. This guy
No,
is.
bro, he makes no sense sometimes.
I find it funny how we were going from Ant-Man could pull a D-Wade to now the Joker might win 4 straight. It's really insane how both things are on the line at this point. I think I'll take Denver. I think they take game 5. And then I'll go Knicks game 5. But I'm not like 100% confident. I think I'm like 50-50 on either game.
So you think the Pacers are gonna win this series now?
He said Knicks.
What? I said Knicks.
I know, but like you said, you're not confident. It could go either way.
Game 5, I don't know because you guys are so hurt, and like I get it, you guys didn't play like a lot of minutes that game, so it might help. But like, dude, like you're missing OG, you're missing Mitch. Like those are the backbones of your defense. Like Brunson's banged up. Like it's like I don't know, it's tough. But you'll be back in the Garden, so that definitely helps. You'll have all the celebrities there, so it'll be like a party.
Yeah.
There was such a weird cast of players.
Celebrity boost.
You saw Tyrese Maxey was there tonight. Jamar Chase was there tonight. Just in Dallas, I felt like it was kind of random.
Dallas is a vibe, man. They wanted to watch some
Because
good
they're
hoops.
there to see Kyrie Irving.
Why was Maxey
LeBron was at the Cavs game.
He was at the Cavs game. He watched the shitter.
He watched an amazing game, bro.
You guys seen that Bronny had a great combine?
Who cares?
He did have a great combine. I'm hype.
He was making his threes. He had a great vertical.
40.5 vertical jump.
It's better than
Shepard
Derrick
had
Rose's.
42.
It's better than Derrick Rose's vertical when he measured, right?
What'd you say, Riv?
Yeah.
Reed Shepard had a 42-inch vert.
I did
No,
see
yeah, he
that.
went
He had the
crazy.
highest vert of
Fucking
any
nuts.
player, right?
Didn't know he can do that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I'm not moved by Bronny hitting open jumpers.
What
So-
about Edie hitting open jumpers?
Not moved.
He actually
Interesting.
tested very well. His agility
did.
testing.
I'm
It
good.
was
off
better
that.
than Klingon, and it was better than Sar.
Bro, he's
His
got a
agility
7'10"
testing.
wingspan. That's nuts.
Bro, he's 7'4".
I know, but
Not moved by
brother's 8
combine
foot.
numbers,
Sir Darko III goes, Isaac Okoro will be pressure washing driveways next year.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he-
He's played well. He's played well.
Nah, offensively today he was shit.
I bet, but
Yeah,
at
he
the
was-
same
yeah,
time,
he
his
was
defense has
open
been
jump.
solid. I
But
mean,
defensively,
amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
The max game, man.
This is going to do it for the live reaction. Make sure you guys subscribe. You guys like this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.